And we are live.
Okay, great.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am awesome as well. Welcome to our live. This is Convince Me to Read the Book with Prashant Kaul, and today we are going to talk about I Am Sorry, My Love, the very awesome book that I have been anticipating a lot. Please introduce us again to yourself with all the words that you can. Yeah.
Sure, I'll do that. So my name is Prashant Kaul, and I'm an author. So I've written three books. The first one was It's Got to Be Love, and the second was Seven, and the recent one is I'm Sorry, My Love. So obviously we'll be discussing the recent one. And I'm an avid reader also, and by profession, I'm HR into HR, human resource. So yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. Actually, many authors that I interview on this platform are like doing many things together. So, yeah, I can just assume now that authors are very versatile and they can, anyone, if with a dream, can start writing and, yeah, can do really great in their.
Talking about the versatility, I'm a poet also, so I write poetry also. So yeah.
Oh, you are a poet also. Okay, so you last when we talked, you told me that for 8 years you have been an author, and now you're telling me that you are a poet as well. So yeah, it's very yeah, as I said, versatile. So yeah, tell us a little more about what has the 8 years journey been like, author and poet, and then all these things that you're doing.
So 8 years I mean, they have been very enriching because I mean, this writing journey is very enriching in first place because when I started writing, it was like I only wrote 2 pages, and then I started writing. I thought I can write the entire story, and I mean that's how I came up with the first book, which was It's Got to Be Love. So you won't believe I used to write in my car while waiting for my wife. So I mean that kind of journey it was. So with the first book, searching for the publisher, searching the editor, it was really really very difficult. But yeah, with the third book, it's a bit easy. But yeah, I'll say that the publisher part and the editing part is very really, really very important. When you're going to publish a book or you're going to edit a book. So, I mean, to all the budding writers and the readers who want to be writers someday, published writers, I'd say that writing a book is still easy, but getting it published and getting it into the market and in the hands of the readers is really very difficult. Yeah.
It is that is actually very true, and yeah, it is the first part when you get it right. It's then when you actually have to give it out to the world, it's quite
Hmm.
tough than many people realize. But yeah, we are still doing it. We're just following our dreams, and that it has to count for something. And as you said that you thought that you would just read a whole chapter, but you were only able to write only 2 pages.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, did you hear my question?
No, I didn't get it because the net connection was slow.
Okay.
I didn't get it.
I'll
Yeah.
repeat that. So as you said that in the beginning,
The
you thought that you would
interconnection
just write a
is
whole
slow.
chapter in one sitting, but you were only able to write like 2 pages. What was that like? I mean,
Hmm.
should I once more say? Ask. Hello.
The connection is, I think, bit slow. Now it's okay. Yeah. Can you repeat the question
Yeah.
again?
So I was saying that
Yeah.
as you said, right? Like you thought that you would just write a whole chapter and all, but you were in one sitting, but you were able to write
Mm,
only 2 pages. So how was it like? I mean, where you get got
mm.
the inspiration to write more and more?
See, if I talk in in terms of a writer, okay, so if you have a story in your mind, then I mean nothing like that, because once the story is there in your mind, then you can at least get it on the paper. But sometimes, you go through the writer block, and I mean, that is when it happens basically. You're not able to write even one paragraph. Okay. So once that writer block is over, I believe a writer block you can, get over with by reading a lot, because I read a lot. Whenever I feel that I am not able to write, I read. So I mean, that is how I cope with it. So I believe, if the story is there, I mean, then, and this is the first step, uh, to make a novel.
Exactly.
The
That is
plot has to be there. The plot has to be there, because I'm working on my fourth book also. So the entire story is there in my mind, but it is still not there on paper. So till the time you don't have a story, the outline, you won't be able to write. Yeah.
yeah. So that is what it's just the story unfolds itself in your mind one step at a time, and it's just sometimes gets so overwhelming that yeah, should I write this first or should I write that first, right? So does that happen to you as well? You said you have
A
written
lot.
3 books so far, so anything like that happens to you?
A lot, because you're not able to connect the dots sometimes. Okay, so I mean, you have plot, then you have subplots. Okay, so if there is an event in a book, okay, and you have to write that event in that particular episode. So sometimes you feel that, will this episode fit here, or will this episode fit somewhere else? So I mean, you get confused as a writer, but yes. Till the time you're writing something on the paper, I believe you can complete a novel. It's not that difficult, because sometimes I've seen, many of my friends, they are writing since last 10 years, and they're still not able to complete a single novel. So don't think much over it. I mean, if you have a story, just keep writing and complete a story. That is more important. So I mean, that
Yeah,
is what
so
I can
this
say. Yeah.
so this was how you cope, like something like a writer's block that we or many people experience in life in general, not just in writing. Like there is a block in life sometimes. So that is how you cope with that. You just keep going.
Yeah, whatever crap you are writing, but just write it, because I mean, in the end, the entire novel, once you have written the entire novel, you also know that, what kind of thing has come on the paper, because it has to go to the editor also, right? So it's not at all perfect. Okay. I mean, once the editing is done, it's still near to perfect. But once you're writing the first draft, it's not at all perfect. I mean, so I believe that, go on writing, don't think much.
That is very great advice actually, because as I said, many of us feel like a roadblock sometimes in life or in writing. But yeah, to keep going is the most important part.
Most
And as
important.
yeah, and as you have been going for 8 years, like all of your books, are they on romance? All of them,
Uh,
like
No,
different,
no.
but
Actually, the two of them are. I mean, they are, yeah, obviously, the genre is romance, but one of them, Seven. It's the amalgamation of seven true stories. So I mean, these stories are taken from the real people. They are real stories. So they include horror, comedy, everything in it. So yeah.
so what about I'm Sorry, My Love? Is it somewhere near a real story or is it complete fiction?
No, it's a complete fiction. It's not a real story, but I'll say that, the characterization in this book is really really amazing. If I compare it with my first book, which was, it's Got to Be Love. So because I mean, the protagonist is, he's really a great character. I mean, he has a lot of negative and positive shades both. So yeah, the story is amazing in this book.
in this one.
Yeah, in this one.
But you said that it is not at all based on real life. So, like the character inspiration and all of that, how do you manage to get all of that in one book and pack it with so much entertainment, as you said?
See, I believe thoughts are there in the atmosphere, they are in the air. So I mean, all the writers, because they read because they want to get a lot of ideas. Okay, they watch movies, they watch web series. So that is how we writers get ideas. Okay, uh, so sometimes what happen is, while you're developing a character in a book, he or she can be positive, or he or she can be a negative character. So, watching web series, watching movies, reading books, you get a lot of ideas from there also. So I'll not say that it is not kind of plagiarism, because obviously it is not. But yeah, you get a lot of ideas because thoughts are there in the atmosphere. They are all around you. So you have to get inspired from somewhere, right? So I mean that is how I get an inspiration. But yeah, the story for this book. I'm sorry, my love. I was traveling from Shatabdi from Delhi to Chandigarh, so I got the idea, and I wrote the outline of the story on WhatsApp, and that is how it started. And around that, paragraph, the entire book is based. This is how I write basically. Yeah. So once the story is there, I can develop the plots and subplots.
So, Chandigarh, okay. So, can you also tell us a little bit about characters? Since you mentioned the place, right? I'm getting even more excited about how the characters come into. Of course, I don't ask. I'm not asking you to spoil the plot, but just a little bit about what the characters are and why you should
So
really go and read that.
The protagonist, his name is Raghav, and female protagonist, her name is Sia. So this the male protagonist, Raghav. I mean, he's a rich, spoiled brat. I mean, he has everything. Okay, and this girl, he falls for this girl, and I mean that's how the story, folds and unfolds. Okay, and I mean how he tries to get that girl at any cost. I mean, that is how the story. That's the story about basically. So I mean, I'll not tell much about the story, but yeah, I mean,
Of course.
it's kind of a story. I mean, on which a web series or a movie can easily be made. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very
absolutely. Like,
entertaining.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The way you said, right? How the rich protagonist and the other protagonist. So it's like uh, I myself enjoy a lot of K dramas related to this, and I can ex- absolutely tell that yeah, this is going to be an awesome, awesome read for me myself. So
I'll I'll just I'll just
yeah.
say one thing, that I mean, the ending is not what all expect. The ending is really, really very. I'll not say much on the ending part, but yeah, the ending is really. I mean, you'll not expect what the ending will be. So I mean, yeah,
Okay, so like we cannot at all expect that if it is a
you cannot.
sad ending or happy ending or
So
nothing like that. It will
so
just
so I'll say
blow your mind.
it's not a romantic novel. It's actually a romance
Okay,
thriller. It's actually a romance thriller. Yeah,
okay. Uh, You're getting me excited, even more and more excited, and full of I'm question. I'm having so many questions. I'm blabbering now, but yeah, I absolutely love the idea of how you said the characters come into play and how they are going to grow. Maybe apart or together. We don't
hmm.
know yet. We'll know when we read the book. So we are going to read it definitely. Maybe now from the plot, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. So, if I could ask you this question, that have you also experienced this kind of love in your life? And like,
Uh, mhm.
I know, as a reader, I'm asking to an author. So, like,
I
has
mean,
anything like that?
my first book, which was It's Got to Be Love, was a little similar to my story, but I'll not say the entire story was taken from my story only. So
Okay.
you have to read that one if you want to get, yeah, that idea, but not this one because I mean this is entirely fiction.
And
It's
very
not at all
thrilling,
related.
thrilling fiction.
Yeah.
That is so great. And okay, I had well, okay, since I asked this question, I had one more similar question. I hope that's not offensive. So has anything ever happened, like a fan interaction or a meet where you just are just inspired that okay, this something like this could be written in as a novel or a story, short story fiction, anything like that? Since you're an
Mm,
author.
mm, not like that, but yes, sometimes you get messages on Instagram, or you get messages on Facebook. I mean, that cannot be turned into an entire novel. But yes, some fans are really crazy. I mean, they try to get your number, and they say that, and they want to meet you. I mean that is what happens a lot. Yeah, that is what happens a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for all the fans of Prashant Kaul, please do not expect that, yeah, maybe
I mean that is fine because that is fine because I also love uh,
enjoy meeting
interacting with
fans.
the fans, with my readers. But yes, I mean there should be a uh,
Yeah,
I mean
definitely.
you understand, yeah.
Yeah. So, you
But yes,
say,
if speaking of a story or a novel to be based on such an idea, it can be made. I mean, it's a really interesting idea. A fan is messaging a writer or a Bollywood star, and then you can base a story around it. I mean, it's really good. It's really nice.
yeah, so I was just, it was quite random. I'm sorry. Of course, we'll just come back to our book. I'm sorry, my love. So, since we know all of these things now about you as a author, about your book, like, and you also gave us a huge cliffhanger that this has
The
very
ending is really
unexpected ending.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what was writing this book like? Which is like not at all based on real life and extremely fiction. So, yeah, I really want
It
to
was
know.
really great. I mean, it was really great while I was writing this book, and I was thinking about Raghav, how he behaves, and how he, gets to a girl, and what are his habits. It was really great. It was entirely a different experience, getting into some other world. I'll say, I mean, while you're, scripting, or while you're writing a book, you get into some other world. And I mean, although these characters are not real, but they really feel very, very real. And it's like you're living with them. So the
They
experience
will
was
just
really great. Yeah.
they'll just drag you into the story and you will feel like, wow, what is happening? And the next second you are just like, oh no, he did that. Oh no, she did that. So this is going to be a book like that. Definitely, yeah. It's very awesome.
Does a lot of stuff which I cannot
That
even
is,
imagine doing,
yeah.
which I cannot even imagine doing. I mean, I'll not tell more about it, but yeah, yeah, he's really dark. He's really dark.
Good job. I like things like that. So yeah, it's really great to know all of these things about your book and about you. And yeah, uh, again, as a reader, I would like to ask that, like, is it any, if the book has an impact on the reader, what kind of, like, how mind blowing do you think that the reader is going to get?
I am getting good reviews about this book. I mean, positive reviews about this book.
Okay.
The book is already doing good. It is around 4.2 rated, and the reviews are like, I mean, they love the protagonist Raghav, and they hate him also. And these kind of reviews I'm getting, and they are comparing it with the web series called You, if you have seen it. So it's really, I believe that it's really great on my part that I can, script that kind of a story. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. Of course, you are getting good reviews, you said, and yeah. So as we are going to tell you as readers that yeah, it the hearing all of these is have been absolutely great, and reading it will be even more fun for me especially. So yeah, I am definitely convinced that I'm sorry, my love is going to be on my TBR, and I'm going to get it, and I'm going to read it, and I'm going to leave a really great review for you as well. Uh, yeah,
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
now that we know Prashant Kaul as an author, now that we know his book, and so thank you so much for joining us for this short conversation. It was very nice. And since you gave us this much of your time, I'll also just one little question. This will come as a surprise, but the Cafables has a journal called My Little Book of Affirmation. Now,
Hmm.
you get to ask me one question about that journal, which is going to convince you to maybe get that journal. So, this is that journal, My Little Book of Affirmation.
Wow, great. Great, great. So, I mean, what can I ask you? And this is really
Yeah.
surprising because I was not expecting this, that I'll be interviewing you. Okay, great. Nice. So, I mean, how did you come up with this idea first?
Oh, that is a good one. I have been like doing a lot of things in my life, and there was no one really to exactly guide me on what to do and how to do it. Like doing this convinced me to read the book series was entirely my idea. But sometimes,
Hmm.
there are some things that could help us that we completely ignore. And yeah, that is everything that helped me reach till here and get to meet you and ask you, interview you about your book, and yeah, everything, all of it. The affirmations that helped me, the gratitude practices that helped me reach this far are in there. So yeah, that is what this journal is all about. That is
Oh, great.
writing.
So, I mean, this journal is based on what? I mean, is it like, your own experiences or what is it basically?
Oh, so it's a journal. So you write in it. Not it's not exactly my experiences. It's just some things that are there, which will get you the hang of it, which will hold your hand while you are on your journey to figuring yourself out or find yourself, innovate or renew yourself or anything like that.
Hmm.
It's all about the reader. It's all about the person who's going to write in the book. It's just kind of an helping hand in
So
doing all
these
the
these
awesome things that you're
these
capable to do.
affirmations, these
Yeah.
affirmations are your own, or I mean,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you have
Those are my
great,
affirmations were by my own.
great,
Yeah.
great, great.
So did I convince you to?
Why not? Amazing. I mean, the answer was really good.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, one last question about I'm sorry, my love. And it will be like, okay, it's not in question. It's just, I have been following it for since
Hmm.
I asked you to join me as an author. And
Hmm.
it's definitely I am very excited about this book, and as you
Hmm.
said that it's going to be a very unexpected ending. So like
Hmm.
a little bit, could you tell us that okay, watch out for this, do not fall for this, because
Okay.
if I am reading and if I am like getting really attached to something, I have to let know like okay, I should be.
So
Uh,
so I'll just say that don't expect a romantic novel. I mean, where everything is great. So I mean, a Yash Chopra movie, like, okay, so it's not that. Okay, expect something like Dar. Okay, so and that is kind of a story it is. Yeah.
Okay. You are giving me more and more suspense. So, yeah, I am sold. I am definitely going to get this book, and I am very much convinced that this is going to be my read in March, and I'm going to have so much fun reading this. So, yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, Prashant. This
Thanks.
have been very pleasant talking to you. And if there is anything I can do in the future as well, if you have a book coming, we'll keep this series running. We'll stay in touch, and yeah, we'll
Sure.
get
Sure, sure. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. My pleasure.
Thanks a lot for joining. I am Nidhi from the
Oh,
Cafe Buzz, and you can find Prashant's book in the description of this video. And yeah, you can also find my little book of affirmation in the description of this video. So go check out Prashant's book and his Instagram page and everything that he's doing. And he makes a lot of awesome workout videos. So watch out for that as well. Okay, see you all, and it was very fun talking to you. Bye
thanks a
bye.
lot. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.